Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Thursday, June 20th, around 9:15 p.m. Mountain Time 2024. Is Mount St. Helens about to blow? Well, the most earthquakes ever recorded in a 30-day period has just occurred. We also have earthquake activity in Katla Volcano over in Iceland. Holy macaroni. Keep calm. It's boom time. Happy solstice. Today, the earliest solstice since George Washington back in 1776. Summer solstice 2024, the earliest solstice since the beginning of the United States. It happened today at 4:50 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's all downhill from here. Tropical storm Alberto moves inland over northeast Mexico as the season's first named storm. Multiple deaths and flooding occurred. I think 3 reported deaths from northern Mexico. There is Alberto, the remnants of it anyway, sustained winds at 30 miles per hour. And we have 2 other disturbances. This one is going to be moving right through here towards the same spot, making landfall with Alberto. And disturbance 1 is going to make landfall in northern Florida in potentially just a few days. It's looking like 24 to 36 hours landfall. Here are the tracks of that tropical depression forming now. It's going to bring flooding rain to northern Florida potentially, as well as Georgia. So stay tuned for the updates as they come in. Here's an update on the South Fork fire and the Salt fire. 0% containment on both fires and thousands of structures destroyed in the Ruidoso area. The South Fork and Salt fires continue to challenge the village of Ruidoso. The community is coming together to stay informed and support each other during this critical time. With over 23,000 acres affected and 0 containment as of today, the dedicated efforts of 824 personnel are focused on protecting lives, homes, and critical infrastructure. Residents are encouraged to stay updated on the latest developments and participate in the community meeting tonight on Facebook live stream. Links will be below. While also being mindful of the potential risks from incoming storms. The storms may put out the fires, but they're going to increase the risk of flash flooding from these burn scars. So add insult to injury, and you know what's happening. Take a look at this post 6 hours ago I posted. Crazy New Mexico. In addition to Ruidoso fires that have burned 1,400 homes and killed 2 people, followed by flash floods and large hail, there were pileups between Santa Fe and Albuquerque, sending people to the hospital. A road washed out by hail and trapping cars in a haboob. Can you believe that? I got some video footage of the haboob. Today, we had the most severe hail ever at the ranch. And so that video, let's get rid of that. That video we will share after this. Go watch Shredder Hail at 3 Canyons. What other updates do we have here? The owner of the Alto Ski Shop, very sad state of affairs.
Well, today we continue to hear stories from the people who had to leave their lives behind to escape the flames.
And Annalisa Pardo from our sister station KRQE got to speak with some of those residents and one whose business, the Alto Ski Shop, has been reduced to ashes. He brings us more now.
To me, that looks like a metal music video, just seeing the tragedy of it all.
It was the first video circulating everywhere showing how devastating the South Fork fire would be for Ruidoso.
That's actually how I found out my business actually burnt to the ground. Was actually seen on the news in that video.
Hood says the shop opened in '81 and he took it over in 2021.
You put your blood, sweat, and tears and years of investing it into a business. But right now, the priority is just to make sure everyone is safe, everyone is getting evacuated, we have everyone accounted for.
Hood sent us this video when the fire first started.
This fire just exploded. There was very little time to grab everything.
Thousands headed to Roswell.
We just had the police coming by saying, get out of here immediately. Don't worry about your house. You got to go. And it was very scary.
Evacuation centers were busy with families, pets, and donations coming in. Barbara Brandt, Larry Darmer, and their pup have been evacuated since Monday and aren't quite sure what they'll come home to.
It did show on that we were in the line of fire. And so I've really been sick to my stomach and all, saying, okay, where are we going to go now?
Friends tell them their home is still standing as of now.
Thinking what we didn't bring. Most stuff is stuff, but I have a lot of things I want to pass down, their family stuff. I'm going, my wedding ring's gone.
Hood says they already had a scare with the Blue 2 fire this year.
This region has seen fire after fire. In fact, during our plasma petroglyph tour, there was another fire in this region about 2 years ago. So Ruidoso residents are not unfamiliar with wildfire, and the community is coming together. Did you see the owner of the Alto ski shop, how cheery he was? He must have some pretty good insurance to have that type of outlook. He's only worried about the people. He doesn't care about his entire business that is burned to the ground. Our thoughts and our prayers go out to those affected in Ruidoso. We've got more interesting updates here. Let's take a look at some of the flooding in Corpus Christi, Texas. Earlier today, you could see, I don't know who's standing in the water there. Clearly, they're directing traffic or something. But these coastal towns are quite used to this type of flooding, so nothing really out of the ordinary. Here's some interesting footage of a hail flow happening earlier today in Nebraska. So guys, come follow us over here at Oppenheimer Ranch Project, that time in the Dave on X. I assure you, you won't be disappointed. Hail flow happening west of Scotts Bluff, Nebraska. Quite fascinating. Take a look at that. Holy macaroni. Interesting headline here. Climate change has made the U.S. and Mexico heat wave 35 times more likely. Do you think this is based on any actual science or facts? Well, absolutely not. In case you forgot, it gets hot in June in the U.S. Here are some record high temperatures over the last century or so. Let's take a look at Du Bois hitting 90 degrees. June 8th, 1968, daily record. Elkins, West Virginia, 93 on June 11th, 1911. Buffalo tied the calendar record, 94, 1919. Cleveland tied 97, June 15th, 1954. Poughkeepsie, 100 degrees on June 9th, 1933. Reading, 98 degrees, June 21st, 1953. Bangor and Houlton in Maine, 101 on June 6th, 1925. Caribou, 95, June 16th, 1930. Caribou, Maine also hit 96 degrees on June 16th, on June 29th, 1944. Millinocket, 98. I mean, you could see the records. Boston hit 100 on June 16th, 1925. So the headline, climate change has made heat waves 35 times more likely, makes zero sense because record temperatures like this and heat waves have occurred every decade for the last 100 years. Clearly, they're obfuscating the truth. And so far this month, there have been no June record maximum temperatures until now, reported on the 1,218 USHCN stations. In fact, 1935 was the most record heat waves. And this year, well, not so many. Yet it's the hottest year ever. How is that even possible? It's not. Quick look at the GFS model shows some severe weather up here in Nebraska and again, South Texas and northern Mexico there. That rain is going to dissipate as the severe weather tonight moves over through Minnesota, St.Helens, and it's going to continue there through tomorrow. Let's take a look at the total accumulated precipitation so you can get a good idea where some flooding may occur. Upper Midwest there, looking at 4 to 4.5 inches. And wow, take a look at that as we move the model through. Going to be some more record flooding for the coast of northern Mexico there. Heavy rain and flooding concerns from the southwest to the upper Midwest continue. Heat continues to build in the east. Widespread showers and thunderstorms are expected to develop Friday afternoon in the Four Corners region. We had a shredder hail event. Please click on the link after this video. And even the northern high plains through the upper Midwest. Stronger storms may produce heavy to excessive rainfall that will likely lead to scattered instances of flash and urban flooding. Meanwhile, ongoing dangerous heat wave will peak across the Midwest and Mid-Atlantic through the weekend and maybe just break some daily records like has happened every decade for the last 100 years. Seismic update, low-level activity worldwide. Good news, that coronal hole is not popping off anything big. But we do have some activity, earthquake activity at Katla Volcano. Now, we have reported over the last 3 years that based on historical data, when the Reykjanes Peninsula erupts, it erupts for years like it's doing right now. And there is always, in historical records, a secondary larger eruption from a different volcano, like Astja or Katla or Bardabunga or Grimsvötn. And here, we now have earthquake activity at Katla that's been going on for 3 years. And another uptick this week. The largest earthquake in this swarm had a magnitude of 3.3, with several smaller earthquakes happening soon after. So we're keeping a close eye on Iceland as things are simmering. Kilauea Volcano, earthquakes increase as well as inflation. Take a look. It all began yesterday, which means more magma is pouring in south of the main caldera, and, well, an eruption is imminent in the near future. Another eruption that may be imminent is Mount St. Helens. Is it about to blow? Well, the Washington volcano has been recharging for 44 years now, and let's take a look at some of the data. So Mount St. Helens, which has now an elevation of just 8,363 feet in the air because the top was blown off, has experienced about 350 earthquakes since the start of February. Now, this peaked in the first week of June of this year with just 38 earthquakes in a week. Now, most were not noticeable, but one of the earthquakes on May 31st clocked in at 2 magnitude on the Richter scale, which is quite significant. Still, its past 2 periods of heightened seismic activity from 2023 and the present one shows the largest short-term increase in earthquake rates since the last eruption ended in 2008, according to the USGS. Does that mean it's going to erupt again? Well, of course it's going to erupt again. It always erupts. It's never not erupted. The question is when, not if. And when it may erupt could be soon, as the activity has now ramped up to 126 earthquakes in the last 30 days, and the last 21 days, 100 of those earthquakes have occurred. So the last 3 weeks is very significant. The first week of June showing 38 in just 7 days. So we're going to keep a close eye on the volcano. Let's take a look at that clustering of earthquakes right here on Mount St. Helens. There you go. Now, the yellow dots represent quakes in the last 2 weeks. The orange dots in the last 2 days, and there have been no recent quakes. So we would imagine another sequence of small tremors to be occurring starting soon, and we'll keep a close eye on Mount St. Helens for you, because it's not a question of if, it's merely a question of when. Worldwide volcano news update. We've got Liwatobi Volcano. Liwatobi today puffing to 10,000 feet. Dukono to 8,000. Take a look at Liwatobi. Powerful eruptions continuing there in Flores, Indonesia. Fuego to 15,000 feet. Sangay to 19. Karaminsk on the Kamchatka there, coming in today with a 20,000-foot blast. Fuego to 15, Semaru to 15, Ibu to 14, Sabancaya, Reventador, 14,000-foot puff. Karaminsk, another 12,000-foot puff today. Liwatobi to 10. Karaminsk, there's that 12,000-foot puff confirmed. Fuego puffing as well. And Ibu to 6,000, Dukono to 8, wrapping up solstice and moving us into June 21st. Quick look over at space weather. You can see that coronal hole is now probably geoeffective. No increase in seismic activity due to the fact that it's probably far north. Needs to be a little further equatorial here to have any real effect. The latest HMI intensity is showing massive sunspot groups, but they are doing absolutely nothing. Small impulsive M flare earlier today definitely didn't result in any CMEs. 3-day geomagnetic forecast is all quiet on the Western Front. Climate change information is sanitized for your protection. You know what that means? Well, qualified professionals like myself are discouraged from challenging the settled science. Yeah, this isn't science because there's no such thing as settled science. Science is an ongoing process of hypothesis and then challenging the hypothesis and seeing if it holds true. There is nothing remotely called settled science. It's not even a thing. It was invented by the green movement and the globalists to muddle the science, because there can never be something called settled science. It's an oxymoron. Science is never settled. We will leave you links below so you can get yourself up to speed. Bad news, microplastics discovered in the human penis for the first time. Holy macaroni. This is a microscope image of microplastic particles in penis tissue. No wonder the fertility rates are dropping off a cliff. Just like Alex Jones warned 20 years ago, the plastics are making us all gay. You want to reverse the effects of those microplastics? Get your own emergency medications. You don't need your doctor. You need the Jace Case doctors. They will prescribe you emergency medication without asking many questions. We're talking emergency life-saving medications and antibiotics to use when you want to use them. You can even get ivermectin. You can personalize your emergency case to survive and thrive in a grid-down scenario. Having life-saving medication on hand should never be an afterthought. And many of our diabetic people and others are wondering where they can get their insulin or other meds. If you're worried in a grid-down scenario, you won't be able to get to the pharmacy, and it is imperative that you have your medication, why not supply or store a 1-year supply of your meds in the dark in your prep closet? Get your Jace Case. Buy one, get one, $30 off. Take a look at that. Ivermectin tablets, 3 milligrams, anti-parasite, albuterol. Tons of options. You can customize your case, and you can survive and thrive in the future. Plus, you support the channel. And that's a boom to knowledge. Please share this video. We are shadow banned. We need your help to grow. Become a Patreon. Support the work we do. Get the Jace Case. Support your family and your preparedness and support the channel at the same time. It's that simple. All you have to do is just share this video, and you are a hero. We love each and every one of you. Be safe. And that's a boom. Oh, yeah. Click on the Shredder Hail video and watch that.